All right, this is going to sound crazy, but if you are trying to lose weight right now, the very first word I want you to eliminate from your vocabulary is healthy. This word has done probably the most damage that I've seen out of anything when it comes to people trying to figure out how to lose weight, how to feel better, body composition changes, is getting hung up on the word healthy. So this might seem really weird, right? Like, obviously, we all know that the stuff on this side is better than the stuff on this side when it comes to fat loss. But it's not because of healthiness. It is because of caloric density and a lot of other factors too, but let's talk first about caloric density. So stop saying whether something is healthy or not. Don't make choices based on whether something is healthy or not. Eliminate the word healthy from your mind and anything that you associate or purchase just because you think it's healthy. In other words, if you've got reasons other than health to purchase organic or free range or whatever other marketing words are used, and their marketing words, just keep in mind that healthy versus unhealthy will not help you lose weight. I have seen this so many times with thousands of people I've worked with over the past over a decade now. Is there's a lot of marketing language that revolves around whether something is healthy or not. And this problem is multifaceted. Let's get into problem number one, calories. There is just as much calories in a health shake smoothie as there is in a milkshake a lot of the time. When you take a bunch of sweet foods and blend them together and suck them down, you are ingesting a lot of calories fast. Calories, how much energy you take in versus how much energy you expend, are the basis of everything else. People who claim otherwise, who say, oh, well, it's not about calories, it's about sugar. Sugar is the enemy, or gluten is the enemy. The only reason why a sugar-free diet or a gluten-free diet or a other kind of similar just don't eat X unhealthy food diet, the only reason why these diets work, at least for some of the population for part of the time, is because by making those changes, people will inadvertently reduce calories or increase their satiety because of the amount of volume of food that they then have to eat to get the same number of calories. So very first thing that you need to eliminate from your brain space when you are trying to lose weight is the word healthy. A calorie is a unit of energy, and all calories provide energy. The calorie from the donut, the calorie from the apple, they both provide energy. Now, that donut is going to have approximately 3 times as much calories as the apple. And because the donut doesn't have any fiber to speak of in it, the apple will keep you fuller for longer on less calories, therefore making you feel more satisfied, unless, God forbid, you feel deprived because you really wanted the donut, but you chose the apple instead. It's one of those things that plays into our mindset. It plays into how we feel about our food. It plays into the guilt associated with food. So these foods, I don't ever want to hear any of my students refer to them as like, oh, guilty pleasures or cheat foods, right? If you are implying a cheat, you're implying either, oh, I'm cheating myself out of what I'm actually trying to do, or like, oh, it's, like a guilty pleasure, like I'm cheating, and therefore it makes it more appealing, I guess. I don't know. I'm not into that kind of thing. But the idea of calling these ones guilty pleasures or cheat foods and these ones healthy is not actually helping your weight loss. Understand that very first thing, we want to reduce calories. Now, the reason why some elimination diets that say, oh, we're going to eliminate gluten, or we're going to eliminate sugar, or we're going to eliminate carbs, or we're going to eliminate, I don't know, whatever people eliminate from, and they say, oh, it's unhealthy. The evil, unhealthy foods are eliminated. What that does, the reason why some people will have progress on this plan is it sparks a change in how we eat. And a lot of times that change is very temporary. When paleo diet was the big hot shit a few years ago, what would happen predictably over and over and over again, because I worked at a gym where many of the people there were proponents of paleo, the owners were proponents of paleo. What would happen now, paleo diet, they like don't eat anything that's post agriculture, I guess, like grains and stuff. So yeah, when you eliminate all the grains, when you make it harder because you're not getting your convenience foods, you have to like actually cook something, and you're eliminating all of the easy to grab high caloric density foods, you are going to reduce calories. That is until you realize that dates are also paleo, and bacon is also paleo, and delicious fatty meats are also paleo. And then your body will figure out how to pack that caloric density in with healthy foods. Okay, so you can absolutely get fat on a paleo diet, on a keto diet. Absolutely you can. On a vegetarian diet, yes. I don't know where the stereotypes or the tropes for vegetarians being skinny comes from. Most of the vegetarians I know struggle to lose weight because of this dynamic of calling things healthy when they're calorically as dense as anything over here, right? So it's one of those things where the very first thing you can do for yourself, the very first paradigm shift you can make to accelerate your fat loss is get rid of the notion of healthy versus unhealthy. That said, why does it work to get rid of this notion? And why do these foods on the healthy end of the spectrum that we're used to thinking of as healthy actually help? Now, first off, a lot of the foods that we consider healthy foods, whole foods, have more fiber, and fiber is a key ingredient to the health of your gut bacteria, to the satiety you feel, how satisfied you feel after a meal. Fiber is a major key player, and fruits and vegetables and whole grains are all rich in fiber. The average person should get around 20 grams of fiber per day. Most Americans don't even come close to that. So having fiber-rich foods, very, very good for feeling satisfied, for not feeling hangry, and for making the gut bacteria happy, which has some lesser known effects on hormones and stuff like that. But not something you need to bury yourself in the minutia of, by the way. Just understand that fiber is good. Yes. The other reason why healthy foods often result in fat loss is most of them are not convenient. You got to cook them. You can't just grab and go them, right? If you are the type of person who goes to like a Trader Joe's or a Sprouts, however, you may have fallen victim to the classic blunder of, oh, I'm going to grab this granola bar, it's healthy, and oh, I'm going to grab these organic potato chips and this organic mac and cheese, it's healthy. And what you end up with then is a number of convenience foods that are just as calorically dense as their unhealthy counterparts that you might get in a regular chain grocery store. But you feel like, oh, I eat healthy all the time. I'm really trying. I'm paying the extra money. I'm doing the extra steps. I'm looking on the label for the zero net carbs and the organic. Why am I not losing weight? And it's very, very frustrating. So when it comes to all of that stuff, remember that a lot of it is marketing language, and there's very, very little difference between most protein bars or health bars and a Snickers. There's really very little difference. So keep that in mind, because if you get to a point where you're feeling deprived and all you really wanted was that Snickers bar, but instead you had 5 granola bars, to try to make up for that, you are not doing yourself any favors as far as the amount of calories you are taking in. So get rid of the word healthy altogether in your vocabulary. There are calorically dense foods that are lower in fiber, and fiber-rich foods that are less calorically dense. Now, one of the other confounding factors here is essential acids, things that your body must get from food, right? A lot of times people get hung up on micronutrients, that is your vitamins and minerals. And a lot of times people will say, oh, well, fruits and vegetables, they got all the vitamins and minerals. Your donut doesn't, your Wonder Bread doesn't have those vitamins and minerals. But you'd be wrong. And here's why. Fortified foods are a thing in the United States. Okay, we put iodine in the salt, we put folate in the cereals, we put iron fortification in things. So a lot of the unhealthy foods like cereals, breads, don't like all, flour, salt, all of these things have been fortified with vitamins and minerals. And that is why you generally don't hear about vitamin deficiency that much in a big way between these two groups of people. People are choosing healthy foods versus unhealthy foods because the unhealthy foods are fortified with your micronutrients, your vitamins and minerals in general. However, when it comes to macronutrients, nutrients that your body can use in larger quantities, protein, fat, and carbohydrate, here's where the differences become a little bit more stark, because while carbohydrate is great, and I am not a proponent of low carb diets, that is your brain's preferred fuel source. All of your fiber that we just talked about is going to be attached to carbohydrates. You literally cannot do a ketosis diet and get enough fiber for your body. Okay, it's just not going to happen. So we want to make sure that we're getting enough fiber, unless you have a medically prescribed ketosis diet, of course. Those of you in the know that ketosis diets were originally prescribed to people, in general, children with seizures, to help with reducing their seizures. So why you're taking a child's seizure medication to lose weight makes zero sense. So don't do that. We want to make sure we're getting enough fiber. So we want to make sure that we're getting enough carbohydrates. But carbohydrates don't have any essential acids. In other words, anything else that we get from them, we can get from other sources, or your body can make on its own. However, in protein and fat, those two things have within them essential acids. Fat has essential fatty acids, protein has essential amino acids. Now, fat, you really don't need a whole lot of to get those essential acids. The amount that you need is not that much. So it's pretty easy to get. So your carbohydrates, easy to get. Your fat, easy to get. The thing that trips people up a lot, and where they really try to turn to health foods or healthy foods, is for the protein, right? Whether that is coming from an animal source protein, vegetarian source protein, or a protein supplement like a protein powder or a protein shake, because those essential amino acids that are in protein, those can only be gotten from food sources. Body can't make them on its own. And those are essential for muscle recovery and repair. Most people know that already, but also essential for all of your peptide hormones. Those are the hormones in your body that are made out of protein. So anytime we are embarking on a fat loss, weight loss journey, we want to make sure that our hormones are feeling good, that they're not out of whack. And a lot of times we're also exercising in addition to the nutrition to help facilitate a higher metabolism and fat loss and or strength gains. All of that is going to require more body repair, more protein, right? So there's a lot of good reasons to go to the foods that we traditionally think of as healthy foods: your produce, your proteins, your whole grains, right? You're getting all of the essential things that we need from that. But there's no reason, as long as you're within your caloric intake range, that you cannot enjoy some of these other foods if you like them. There's no reason, okay? Keep in mind when you are having these foods that we want to make sure that we stay within our caloric range and get all of our essential nutrients or proteins and your fats and your fiber. You want to make sure you're getting all those things. But as long as you're getting all those things, if you still have room for chocolate, if you still have room for cake in your calorie intake, then do it. Why not? Why not have fun? Why not enjoy it? And the other thing that we could easily put over here in the unhealthy is alcohol. Not because I'm a proponent of everyone drinking alcohol, even though I myself definitely enjoy a glass of wine and a beer and a gin and tonic. And in any case, the reason why we wouldn't necessarily, why we would want to put those over here is because all of those alcoholic beverages do have calories. Now, they don't have any other essential anything. They don't have fiber, they don't have amino acids, they don't have fatty acids, they don't have anything your body needs but it does have calories. So alcohol will absolutely add calories to your diet. And this includes clear alcohols such as vodka, which is a very persistent rumor that I hear every single year from multiple people. Well, if I have like, you know, vodka and Diet Coke, that's 0 calories, right? No, clear alcohol also has calories. So per gram, what you're looking at calorie wise, carbohydrate and protein have about 4 calories per gram. Fat has 9 calories per gram. So you can see why if you have a low carb, high fat diet, it'd be really easy to go over in your calories, right? You don't need a whole lot of fat. And then from alcohol, you get 7 calories per gram. So it's almost as good as drinking butter, calorie count wise. But it's not a matter of, oh, alcohol makes you gain fat because it's unhealthy. It's because it adds a ton of calories and a ton of calories with nothing else your body needs. So you would still need to eat food on top of that to get at the nutrients that your body needs. Now, I've got 3 cats, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it rings true to me. So I'm going to repeat it. Maybe you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I used to get the cheap cat food for my cats and noticed that they were getting a little chunky. And somebody said, oh, well, they put a lot of extra carbohydrate, a lot of extra fillers in the cheap cat food, and cats are obligate carnivores. So in order for the cat to get at the amount of protein they actually need, they have to eat their way through a lot of extra carbohydrates to get there. Therefore, they become chunky. So I switched to a food that had more crude protein in it and less carbohydrate. The dietary labels on cat food are a little different than humans, but, tried to make that shift. And sure enough, the cats naturally came back down to a normal weight without me changing free feeding, which, like, I know all of you Jackson Galaxy fans out there, cat experts out there are going to say, don't free feed your cats. Well, I have one that binges and purges if I don't just leave lots of food out for him. He's a little bit weird like that, but yes, in any case. So what I'm saying is that at least in cats, it seems that they will eat until they get the nutrients they need, regardless of how many calories are attached to that. This is part of the reason why vegetarians have such a hard time, because a lot of vegetarian foods are relatively protein poor. Even foods that vegetarians are often marketed to and they're told, oh, beans are a good source of protein, rice is a good source of protein. When you hear the words good source of, do not conflate it with abundant source of. It might be a good source of protein, beans, but beans still have more than double the amount of carbohydrate than they do protein. And that goes for chickpeas and black beans and all different kinds of beans, right? So in order for a vegetarian who was getting all of their protein from beans to get the right amount of protein for their health goals, they would have to get through all of those extra carbohydrate calories, which is great for people who are super active and need the extra calories, not a problem. But for people who are sedentary, you really got to zero in and remove the excess calories from the nutrients that are essential to our survival and what we actually need. So I implore you, be sure to look at your foods in terms of satiety, calories, number one, if you're trying to lose weight, then protein, then fat, then anything else that your body might need, fiber. And if you don't want to think about all of this and you just want to follow a plan, I got you covered there too. If you're a member of the Nerd Gym, you know what to do. But if you're not yet a member of the Nerd Gym online, you can go to www.thenerdgym.com. That will take you to our Patreon page. You can join at any membership level and get access to several different, very flexible meal plans that are designed to adapt to your style of eating and what you enjoy eating, with all of these concepts in mind, without you having to do all the math, because I've already done it for you. All right, so go to www.thenerdgym.com, sign up there and ask your questions below, and let me know, what is your favorite food? Doesn't matter if it's healthy or unhealthy. I want to know what your favorite food is. Okay, and I will see you next time. Bye.